All right, after some technical difficulty, we are back. Carolyn is being very patient, thank goodness. Anyway, okay, so I'm in EBSCO, and I was demonstrating how to add search results to a folder so that you could then download all the records to either a spreadsheet or to reference management software. And that's not because you're going to actually obtain and read all the full text of these sources, but it's just to document the number of hits that your search returned. Because if you were actually doing a systematic review that you were planning on publishing, you would need to document and report the number of records that were returned by the searches of each of the databases that you did. And then you'd report the number of duplicates that were removed and the number of sources that were actually selected because they met your inclusion criteria. And that's all documented on what's called a Prisma diagram, which last semester I actually had students do a Prisma diagram, but this semester we're not going to do it because it's too just an extra thing to do that you really don't end up having to do for the graduate project. So although it might be a good experience, time is sort of the essence. So to conserve some time this semester, I eliminated that requirement. So then what I did was I was showing my search strategy, which started out just searching on terms related to the term student nurse, and then test taking or examinations, and then anxiety and stress. And then I combined those searches to get this final search that yielded 128 results. And so then I wanted to, if we look at those results, right now we're looking at the third page. There's actually 3 pages of results because I'm displaying them 50 records per page. And to get all these records added to my folder, I actually went up to the share option. And for each page of results, I had to add those results to my folder. Okay, so they are in my folder. And then I go to my folder, and I'm actually going to select all of them. And I'm not sure it's selected everything, so I'm gonna, maybe I can display all of them. Nope, I can only display 50 records per page. So I'm gonna go to page 2 to see if they're selected.
My computer audio staff.
And they are. So go to page 3.
Teacher is calling.
So they're all selected. So I can hear. They're all checked. So I'm gonna go back to page 1. And then what I want to do is I want to export.
And I'm the only person in this class.
Okay, so I click on the export.
Nobody else is dialed in. It's just me and her.
Okay. And I happen to have what's called EndNote Reference Manager software. And there's different reference manager softwares listed here.
So my plan was to duck out at like
EndNote's the one that I happen to use.
And then I can't. I have to stay till 7.
There's these other options that where how you can export the sources if you want. Like you can export them to XML format, which I believe will open in Microsoft Word, as will a CVS file. But for now, I'm going to export.
If it gets to be 6:30 and she's not finishing,
then I'm going to open this up. You can see this little file appeared at the bottom of the page. And then when I clicked on it, when I clicked on this right now, then what happened was all of those records in my search filled in this file in an EndNote database. Okay, so that's one way to keep track of those. It's saying it only added 100 of them.
I can hear you. I can't see you. Oh, jeez. There's nothing on the screen. It's just blank.
Okay, I'm rejecting the call. It says that I left the call. So let's see. I'm going to go back 100. I'm going to look at page 2 to make sure those are not selected. Page 3. So I'm going to select those. There's only 28 of them. I'm going to export them. And I'm going to save. Okay, so there's my file that came up. I'm going to click on it. And there. Oh, now it's saying it's got 200 in there. So that means I've got duplicates in there now. So I would have to remove the duplicates. And there is a way to do that. And the reason that you do this is because, okay, so now I could create a group for my sources. Let's see, groups. I want to create a group, and I'm going to call this CINL. Okay, so I could put all of those sources, I could move them all to this folder. So if I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to move them to the CINL folder. Okay, so they're in there. And then I know there's a way to remove the duplicates. And so what you and I would move them to a Medline folder, or I'd make a Medline group. And I would file them there, and that way I would know how many records I retrieved from CINL and how many I retrieved from Medline. Okay, so, and those were all recently added, but for right now, I want to get rid of those duplicates that I just exported from CINL. And I just got to remember where that is. Tools, cover library, list, find duplicates. Okay. So this is how you would get rid of your duplicates. You would systematically go through and either decide to keep or eliminate the record. Okay, and you decide which one you wanted to keep.
I still can't see your screen.
Oh dear. Okay. There we go. How about now?
Something's happening. There we go. Yep.
Okay. Probably.
Can you go through how you get rid of the duplicates, since I couldn't see that part?
How we, well, maybe I'm going to do this all over again. I'm going to get rid of everything that's in here. Oh, see, there's all the duplicates in there.
Okay.
So I could delete all of those. And then I would, except then it just gets me down to 100. So I'm going to try, actually, well, I think this recording is not going to be worth anybody watching. So.
If nothing for comedy.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so there's my, I'm going to go back in. All right, so I'm going to select all. It says looks like I've selected everything. Everything's got a check mark beside it. And I'm going to export it. Actually, I think what I'm going to try to do this time is just doing one page at a time, because maybe it won't. It might not select, or it might not want to export more than 100 records at a time. Those aren't selected, okay. Well, apparently it won't let you do select all for just one page. So we'll try to export all 128 records again. And I'm using direct export to EndNote. Okay. So then I'm going to move. There's the EndNote file. I'm going to go ahead and click. Okay, there you can see it imported, and it just imported 100 again. So I don't know if it also eliminated duplicates or what it did, but anyway, you get the idea. You can import these, and then I can move these recently added sources to, I want to select all of them. Whoop. I can put them in my CINL file. And then, okay, so, and then later we can run a search with Medline. We can do basically the same search, and I'll actually do that now. I'm going to run, let's see, I'm going to change databases. Let's see, go back. So now I'm going to choose my database, not to be CINL, but to be Medline. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my search history, and I'm going to rerun that same search. Okay, so it only got 41 hits. Okay. Before I do anything else, though, I'm going to go to my folder, and I'm going to eliminate the records that didn't, or the records that I've already exported. Okay, so then I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to add these records to the folder. Let's see, so we want, go to share, and I want to add all results to the folder. Okay, so now I go to my folder, and those results are in there. I'm going to select all of them, and I am going to export them, and they're going to export RIS format, which will go into EndNote. All right, and there's my notice that it's done the export. Okay, and then it just imported that 41. So I'm going to move those to my Medline folder. Whoops, I can't do it that way. I guess I have to actually select them all. I can already see there's some duplicates there. So I'm going to move those over to my Medline folder. So now I know I got 100 records from CINL, 100 records from Medline. And then, so in all right now I've got, I still don't know why I don't have those 128 records from CINAHL, but that's something I'd have to troubleshoot. But now, you know, if you sort on author, you can see where your duplicates are. You can scroll down and see that, but then you can use the mechanism where you actually go through and eliminate duplicates, which, where was I when I did that? Show, find duplicates. Okay. It's saying there's 28 duplicate references. So I would go through each of those and I would decide which one I was going to keep. Okay, so let's say I'm just going to keep this one. And you can kind of look from different databases, records will export differently. So this one I like better already because it doesn't have the O in of capitalized. And that affects your ability to export these and create reference list entries, which this reference management software will do that. So I'm going to keep that record. And then it'll just keep moving through those 28 duplicate records so that you can remove them all. I've told them which ones I want to keep. And anyway, I would go through that process to do that. Okay. Now, another thing you can do is you can export the records to like an Excel spreadsheet. So if I were to select them all, we could say we want to do XML format. So I'm going to do that. Ew. I don't really like that. So I think I'll try something else. I might try downloading to a CVS file, but I actually think there's another option that I can save the file as. It looks like I can save it to different reference list formatted entries. So we'll see what happens when I do that. I chose okay, that. So this, if you printed this, this would be a proof of all the hits that you got in that particular search. Okay, but the bad thing about this is that it's not really in a format that you can really work with it later like it would be if you imported it to reference manager software. I'm going to see, I'm going to actually export this to a CVS file. Okay, so you can see down here in the corner of my screen, I got, which is basically just an Excel file. So I'm going to open that. Okay, and what you can't see is that it opened in Excel, which is just a spreadsheet. So we've got, you know, it's got the article title, the author, the journal. It's got all the bibliographic information, plus it's got the database from which I exported the information. I was thinking it would say that I also got it from the Medline database, but it doesn't. So what I might do is just tag this tab with Medline, so I know that I got these records from my Medline search, and then I would save it to my computer. I would save it to that. I'm going to save it as my Medline search. I'm going to go to my, let's see. I want to go to my master folder, my paper trail folder, um, maybe my bibliographic databases folder. Just a second, I'm gonna, so I could save it there as my Medline search. All right, so that's just another option for doing that. And I'll show you a third option where you can print the records to a PDF file. Okay, but I think the exporting to reference management software or to an Excel file is really the better way to go because it's more usable. You can sort the sources by year and by author name. It has just more flexibility. Okay, so I'm going to select all those. And then here's the other option. You can print your records. This is all happening in the folder. Okay, and then you can say what you want to include when you print. Well, right now I just want to include, I want the references in APA format. And mind you, I don't believe that EBSCO has converted over yet to 7th edition APA style, so.
Of course not. Why would they?
Yeah, they're behind, just like everybody. So, and in any case, if you're using EBSCO to format your APA reference list entries for you, you always have to check anyway, because they do things like capitalizing the O and of, the A and. They don't capitalize the first letter of the first word after a colon in a two-part title. So there's just all kinds of little glitches, but it still can save you time because you can just go through and edit rather than typing all those entries from scratch. And so here's what it looks like, the list of reference list entries. So I'm going to save that to the same place that I just saved that Excel file, bibliographic databases. And I'm going to, again, call it my Medline search. It wants to add that CVS tag on there because that's what my Excel file is also named. All right. Okay, let me just make sure there's nothing else in EBSCO that I wanted to look at. We exported, printed, EndNote.
I can hear you. Perfect. Mm. 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 Whoa. um, yes. Okay. Yes. Mm. Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
Almost there. This. Okay. So I tried to, I'm still adjusting to 7th edition APA as well, so I may still not quite have it together, even though I helped to develop the crosswalk for it. I'm still trying to get it memorized. So anyway, you can see now that the title's got to be bolded. You're supposed to put the affiliation below your name, and this is how they demonstrate it in the APA manual. It's the nursing program you're in, followed by the college. And then I think this is optional, whether you put the course name, and then you put the instructor's name, and then you put the date of the assignment or assignment due date. So this for, I think March 8th is when the assignment is actually due. So I will just change that to March 8th. All right. And then you repeat the title on the first page of the paper. It should be in bold. And then this is more like a project than an actual paper. So I just sort of organized it by the assignment criteria. And the first thing is to determine search terms. And then you see your question because that's where you get your search terms. And then what I put in yellow on the sample document here is I'm basically putting in the instructions for what you're supposed to do, or just an explanation. So I did is, in addition to stating my PICO question, I also explained that it's I don't have specific interventions listed in there because I want to look for all types of interventions that have been tried to alleviate test anxiety in nursing students. So my PICO question is not as specific as some of your PICO questions are. All right, and then there's my search terms table that we used, or we looked at a little bit ago to do to run my search. This is not an officially correctly formatted APA-style table, but in the interest of time, because it takes quite a bit of time to correctly format a table in APA style, I am not requiring you to do that. Okay. And then the next thing is to determine the databases to search. I just have some instructions there. They're sort of an explanation more than instructions. Really, you need to look at the actual assignment instructions for the instructions, but they're kind of implied on this example here. Okay, so, and basically this is going to be a paragraph about your consultation with the librarian and how you determine the databases you were going to search, and you might incorporate information from the textbook as well, because it may differ from what the librarian told you, and it'll inform the databases that you search depending on your PICO question. And the next section is to actually build and execute your search and also to document it. And the first thing that is requested there, this kind of goes in the order of the, I think there's a about the sequence for running a high quality search. That's the order that I've included this information in this assignment. So then you can see the first table I have there is the inclusion and exclusion criteria table. And then you actually conduct your search. This is where you basically, there's no words, you're just inserting screenshots or clips of PDF files. And that's what I've done here. This is not a screenshot. I actually printed my search strategy, and I did that initially when I was doing the demo before everything went awry. But I printed my search strategy to PDF, and then you can take the PDF file and take a snapshot of it, and then you can copy it into your document here. So basically, I just have figure one here. This is my Sentinel search strategy with meaningful limiters applied, and it's basically what you're looking at is in the sequence of most recent to least recent. So the search itself actually started here. This is what I did first, and search one or search two is what I did second. As you scroll up, you get to my final search. Now this is a search that I did last semester, so you can see whereas from Sentinel last semester I only had 121. So there's been 8 more publications that meet my search term criteria from last October or whenever it was I did this demo last October. Okay, so that's my Sentinel search. And then I do the same thing with my Medline search. Students do this various ways. Sometimes they just take a screenshot of their search strategy like this, and they paste that in, and that's fine too. I just find that I usually have multiple screens open, and when you go to take a screenshot, I have to make it so I'm not sharing my computer screen. Otherwise, it'll take a screenshot of both screens, and I don't want that. So that's why I chose to do a PDF document here. And PDF document. Because there was my Medline search. Okay, then you want to select appropriate evidence to read. So this next is actually a screenshot of my Excel spreadsheet where I downloaded a certain number of sources that I had probably selected. They were maybe potential keepers. So this is from my combined search of Sentinel and Medline. So what I probably did when I demoed this is I went through and I selected a specific number of sources, and that's what I downloaded here. It's actually downloading every single record that I got. And here's just another way you can do that. You print to PDF the sources, and I actually demonstrated that a little bit ago. Which is another alternative in addition to downloading to Excel or to a reference manager software like it's the same sources that you see in the spreadsheet back here. Just here. Okay, so 2 ways to do that. And then this is the reference manager software of my possible keepers that I downloaded from my combined search system with Medline. So you should see the same sources here that you're seeing in the Excel spreadsheet and the printout. Okay. And lastly, you're going to obtain appropriate literature. And this, you don't have to get very far doing this. You just need to show me that you've gotten some full text sources, and then you're also going to describe any sources that were not available in full text that you need, and you submitted your own requests for those sources. And so then to prove or as evidence that you've done that, you include a screenshot of your master folder. These are your documents subfolder. This one just shows 3 full text sources that I've collected. So you see, show that you're getting started doing that.
Okay.
You could have 20 in there. You might have 2. Hopefully people won't just have 1, because to do the last assignment in the course, you're going to need at least 4 sources. And I believe the assignment before that, I can't remember, the article analysis analysis assignment requires 2 sources, so you're going to need at least that many. Okay, and I decided sources. I must have cited somewhere paper, except I don't have references as my heading, so I should have that. And that should be bold too. Okay. That's it on my agenda. I'm sorry that it was so cumbersome.
But we made it through.
You hung in there. You probably felt like you were a captive audience.
No.
At this point, I just wanted to have questions, so it's Q&A. If you have any questions, I will answer them now.
I don't think so, but I feel like I'm going to have to read my APA book, like cover to cover, because so many changes.
Did you get the new one?
I did.
7th edition?
I went to Barnes & Noble, and I couldn't find it, and they said it was behind the counter because it was a high theft item.
Oh, yeah.
I-
All those nasty college students are stealing it.
Right.
Oh, my God. I bought it. I got the online version.
Mm.
So, and it's searchable. That's what I really like about it. You can just, search on words instead of like using the index. It also has an index.
Right. That's smart.
Yeah, but what I would do if I were you is read the APA crosswalk. It's in the start here area.
Okay.
I'll actually bring it up here. This will give me an opportunity to show you one other thing I'm doing with grading those papers this time around. Okay, so I go to the course. If you go to the start here area, course materials. There's our 2 required textbooks, and then the APA manual, and then here's the APA 7th edition crosswalk. I would read that. It's
Okay.
not terrible, and it'll show you what's changed from 6th edition to 7th edition. However, if you haven't mastered 6th edition, it's probably not going to be all that helpful. You're just going to have to use the manual. Now, this grading key, I think, would be helpful.
Okay.
This is something, we had this for the 6th edition, and now we've got it for the 7th edition. There's been a correction or addition to this, and I think I did upload it. Maybe not. But this just has, when I'm grading now, what I'm trying to do is instead of typing a whole comment out to explain why something's wrong, I'm putting this code there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Then you'll have to look up the code.
Okay.
Okay, so this is basically organized by, there's structural elements, like how you set up the structure of the paper. And like, I know in graduate seminar 1, you guys set up an academic paper, so you had a structure.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's changed a little bit from 6th edition to 7th edition. Things on the title page changed, but basically the margins didn't change. It just kind of bolding the title on the title page, bolding the title on the first page of the paper, and bolding references changed as far as structure. But then it also, in addition to that structure, it goes into, there's a section about the title page element. There's a section about writing style, which just has some common problems that come up in student writing. And then mechanics would be your spelling and punctuation and capitalization and stuff. Seriation, parallel structure, and then there's a crediting sources, so that's basically source citation section. And then there's a grammar and writing style section. And I guess there's a whole punctuation section, all of its own, commas and semicolons and colons and dashes.
Oh my.
And the reference list section is the last one. So you
Okay.
can kind of refer to that. And like what I do is that this is searchable. So I mean, you could something about anthropomorphism. I'm just going to type anthro and see if it'll find it. And it did. So there's the explanation of anthropomorphism.
Okay.
That I wanted to check because Dana Weddiking and I found something to change, I think, in the reference section the other day. Yeah, I think we added a section here that said to make sure you bold references. So I need to update this, looks like. And then what's it saying about DOIs here? Yes, it's to provide the URL format. Links directly to it. Yeah. Okay. So I would, use that before you resorted to actually reading the EPA manual. I do think it's a lot better than it was, but you wouldn't be able to appreciate that unless you'd spent a lot of time in 6th edition and understood the quirkiness about it. Right, so I'm going to close that, and those are 2 things provided in the Start Here area, in the course materials area. So let me just look and see if there's any questions in the discussion board. Nothing posted there. You guys must be busy on some other major assignment because the questions have slowed down drastically in the questions discussion board. All right. Well, if you can't think of anything else, Carolyn, I will release you.
No, thanks.
And I don't know if I post the recordings, I'm gonna post them with a warning that there will be no awards won for the quality of it. So, but I appreciate you hanging in there. So
Yeah, thanks.
rest of the week, and if you have any questions, I guess post them in the questions forum, and I will send you them within probably 24 hours, unless it's afternoon on Friday.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead and end the meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.